Hello, and welcome to what hopefully will be a weekly vlog. And today is the day after Yom Kippur. It's called God's Tag, which means God's Day. So we have just come from an amazing experience, which is the knowledge that in essence we are God. And the way we know this is because in actual fact there is nothing but God. All of reality is only self-perception. I don't want to go into this in great detail. We've written about it on the blog. But the bottom line is that the consciousness of a human being and the self-perception is obviously one in which you create, or which is created for you, an individual identity. And that identity is very much connected to your body. You see yourself. If I asked you to point to yourself, you'd point to your body. And so the truth of the matter is that, your body is just energy. It's literally popping in and out of existence. Even from the cellular level, every 7 years you have a different body. So you're the same person you were 14 years ago, twice a different person on a cellular level. So all you really are is a unique consciousness born into a body, assuming that you are a body, and then you have the ability to rise beyond that fake self-perception into the infinite dimension of understanding that you are truly part of God. Now, the thing with God is that because we exist, as the Baal Shem Tov says, everything we understand in a sixth dimension, which is obviously northeast, southwest, up, down. And so we understand things in the dimension of time and space. But God, as the Rambam today mentions, has no time-space factor. I mean, I want you to imagine that you have an existence that doesn't exist based on our paradigm of existence. So there's no space and time. And a simple example really is like information. Where does 1 + 1 = 2 exist? It's a fact. It doesn't exist in a location. So it's just information. It's like data. Where does data exist? Well, data it's not a physical thing. It happens to be data can be put onto a chip. It could be put into DNA. But technically, data is like imagination. It's a thought. It's an idea. That's why there's different data, different ideas. And so ultimately, God is also very much just like that. He's like an idea. He doesn't exist in our dimension of existence. And then you ask yourself a question. So an idea, does it exist before time, after time, in time? Does it have a location in time? The answer is that it's beyond time and space. It's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And the same thing is with God. He's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Obviously, the difference between math is that you may be thinking math, but God is a conscious being. So while he's simultaneously everywhere and nowhere, he's also alive, which makes him very unique, because every other existence has a location, but God has no location. So he's beyond all dimensions, effectively, but he's not limited to being beyond all dimensions. He can simultaneously be in any dimension, create any dimension, etc., etc. So, in a sense, what are you? You are a dimension of God. And why did God create you? Well, that's obvious, because he loves you. When you love someone, you create, you like parents, they want to have a child. What do they love? They love the imagination of the joy this child will bring them, and that itself creates the love. So certainly by God, it wasn't just an imagination, it was a reality. He had a clear picture of how you would make the world a better place, and that brought him the joy and made him create you. So anyway, we've touched on a few pretty radical major concepts here. It's enough to chew over for a week. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. You can ask me below. Any topics you want me to talk about, feel free to ask me. And please God, I will try to do this on a weekly basis and we could address your questions. All the best. Take care.